So good morning everyone, and this morning I want to speak to you a little bit about the history and origin of vocational service. Our founder, Paul Harris, said of the 101 ways in which men can make themselves useful to society, undoubtedly the most available and often most effective are within the sphere of their own vocation. Yes? So vocational service has been referred to as the bedrock or shining principle of Rotary since its inception. And today we're going to talk a little bit about, spend a few moments and talk about the origin of it and the history behind it, so you'll understand the whole foundation of a vocational service and why is it so important then and today. Yes? So what I'm going to do, I want you to visualize what I call a rotary tree. Okay? And let's just say the roots of the tree, let's call that club service. Okay? The trunk of the tree, we're going to describe that as vocational service. And then we have the branches and the leaves, we'll call that community service and international service. And then these leaves would have some fruits bearing off them, and we'll call that the Rotary Foundation. So in a nutshell, thinking of the rotary tree, you can understand how the whole structure of Rotary is made up. So club service, the roots of the tree, is so important. Without club service, without the fellowship and the overall atmosphere and events that take place within a Rotary club, you can't have the tree. So the roots are important. Yeah? Likewise, without vocational service, that element of people's vocations, bringing your expertise to the table, without that trunk, you cannot have any community service. You can't have the branches, you can't have the leaves, you can't have the fruit. So, the tree simplifies how important vocational service is to the whole world and realm of Rotary. Now, let's do a little bit of history. Imagine 1905, when Paul and his three friends gathered and started and created history as we know it by starting this first service club. When they met, you need to understand the atmosphere in turn of the century, 1905. It was tough out there. It was a dog-eat-dog world out there. And Paul had to get together these guys who were not competing with each other. People of different vocations, different expertise, coming together, right? And bringing their expertise on the table to help each other. Yes, let's make no mistake about it. Rotary started for people coming together and helping each other. And of course, as time went on, they realized they could use that expertise, use their vocations, use their classifications to help society at large. So it was started for business and professional reasons, and it evolved. And I will now recall Paul's famous words, which was, "We failed to be content with isolationism and started community service." We failed to be content with isolationism and started community service. So initially they started it, they were creating the organization, coming together for networking and helping each other out. And then they realized eventually, you know what, there's more to this than that. We can make a difference, we can make an impact out there. So it evolved into that, and as we know where we are today in the world. But it's important to understand of the two original concepts of Rotary, and I want to share that with you, and it just kind of reinforces where vocational service plays its role in the whole evolution of the organization. The two original objects of Rotary, I mean, we know there are four right now, but there were two in the very beginning. The first was to promote the business interests of its members, and two, friendship, right? And I share this with you because there were really two directions in which the organization was traveling in at its inception, at its birth. The first directions we'll call that Rotarians helping each other, yeah, and promoting each other's business at the meetings. And if you go back through the history books, you will realize that at Rotary clubs, a couple of minutes of every meeting was dedicated to actually advertising each Rotarian's goods and services, and log and a catalog was created of that, to mark and see which Rotarian supported which Rotarian during that month, and recognition was given, and in some cases awards were given for that. So they were looking out for each other. And if you think about it, the whole the whole point of vocational serving, your expertise, what is it you do, your classification. If you notice, everyone is classified. Why? Because that is the key element. That is what makes us different. If you take away vocational service, we're just like any other service club. If we are different in this world, if we are unique, it lies within the realm of vocational service. Everyone must be classified. Everybody's is good at something. Everybody's an expert at something. And everybody brings something to the table. So, bearing these origins in mind, bearing this history in mind, you can understand how amazing our founding fathers were when they were conceptualizing this organization, and knowing that these fundamental principles, which we still have today, is so valid and so important. So I just share with you by letting you know that vocational service, an amazing and so important element of Rotary, and I think it is underutilized. And I just thought I'd share a little bit of history and origin of it to let you understand and grasp the concept behind it, and perhaps delve even further and deeper into it. Thank you. My name is Harish Ramchandani, and I'm from the Rotary Club of Montego Bay East.